All right. Well, I guess we'll introduce our program today. We got Shelley and Jody from the Alzheimer Association. You might have seen Shelley out at the ice cream fun days.
Thank you for having us today. I just wanted to share that I used to not be able to get up in front of people either. My issue was I would start laughing and not be able to stop. I wish I would have had a Ryla experience, but mine just came from taking a speech course in junior college, and that helped a lot. So I don't laugh anymore. Just I think I'm funny, but we'll see about that. So how many of you have ever heard of the Alzheimer's Association? I love that. That's good. We didn't used to always see all those hands go up. So I would expect most of you know about Alzheimer's disease and other types of dementia. I'm going to chat about that a little bit, and then Shelley will finish us off for some information. I am the regional outreach manager for the Alzheimer's Association from here, Twin Falls, all the way to Idaho Falls. Shelley and I basically cover the whole territory. I do education, support, caregiver information in the communities, and share about what we do and what Alzheimer's and dementia is, talk about research that's coming out, all of those types of things, and then Shelley runs the walks into Alzheimer's in the major communities. So why do we care about this disease and dementia? What does it mean to you? First, I always like to ask, how many of you have a brain? I feel good about the hands going up on this one. Right, so if you have a brain, we should be thinking about this. How many of you are aging? I'm not yet. Okay, yes I am. Right, again, that's the highest risk factor. We'll talk about that a little bit here. But what does it mean in our community? We've got a lot of facts and figures. I kind of just gloss over this because I'm going to show you a quick video because it's kind of hard to see all of this. But if you want more information about what those facts and figures are, I'll give it to you. Are there any facts in there that jumped out to you that you didn't know? Go for it.
Only 92% would want medication.
I actually think it's a good number. Did you think it was too low? You think it should be 100%?
I would think so.
Well, side effects scare people sometimes, those types of things. And what was yours?
The number of people who die from Alzheimer's. We know that Alzheimer's is a form of dementia, but I'm unclear as to what of it actually kills somebody.
Right. Okay, so we'll get to that in just a second. That's a great question. That's our national facts and figures that comes out every year. And that's got a lot of good information, but what does it mean to Idahoans? So in Idaho, there's more than almost 30,000 folks living with Alzheimer's disease. What's important about that number is that's age 65 and older. So it doesn't count anybody who's been diagnosed with early stage Alzheimer's. It's just those 65 and older, and it's only Alzheimer's. This doesn't count dementia, other types of dementia, which I'll go over here in just a minute. The other thing that's important to know is that we have a lot of caregivers, and these are unpaid caregivers, so family and friends. And often they need a lot of help, so we want to try to make sure they know what types of resources are out there, whether it's ours or some other types of organizations, and help them as much as we can. Because really what we often hear is that caregivers are the ones that really suffer, and they have a really hard time caregiving. You don't have to raise your hand, but are there anybody in the room that's been a caregiver or knows a caregiver? Yeah. So for those of you that raised your hand, is that a hard job?
Yeah.
Right. And this disease can be quite lengthy, so it can be tough. Okay, so the Alzheimer's Association, most of you know about us, but we are working on risk reduction, early detection, maximizing quality care and support, and then we are the largest nonprofit funders of research in the world. So we're working real hard to make sure that we can make some changes and get to a place where we don't have Alzheimer's disease. Our name doesn't say it up here. We are the Alzheimer's Association, but if you look us up on the IRS, we're actually the Alzheimer's and All Other Dementias Association. So our research doesn't just go towards Alzheimer's disease, it encompasses other types of dementia. All right, well, what is dementia? Who knows the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia? Is this the question that you just burning, you're dying to know? Well, let me tell you, I'm about to tell you what that is, and your brain's gonna be, in the better for it, because we're always wanting to learn. All right, so dementia, if you can imagine, is the umbrella term for loss of memory and other thinking abilities. It's severe enough to interfere with daily life. All of these here, these are types of dementia. So Alzheimer's disease is always dementia, but dementia doesn't always have to be Alzheimer's. A urinary tract infection could be considered a dementia because it does and can cause some cognitive loss. But that's something that can be cured pretty easily. So we want to make sure people are going to see their doctors because it might be something going on that's easy to diagnose and take care of. Clear as mud? You're all so smart. Here we go. What's Alzheimer's specifically? It's a brain disease. It affects memory, thinking, and behavior, and it's progressive. Symptoms get worse over time. I doubt I'm telling you anything you didn't already know, but sometimes people will talk about memory loss as, somebody just getting older. That's what it is. Oh, so-and-so was senile. You'll hear those kind of words. No, there is an actual brain disease, and it causes cell damage in the brain. So there's real physical things happening. And someone might be telling you the same story and over again. They're not doing it to be irritating. They just have some brain damage there, and that's what's happening. And eventually, you will pass away from Alzheimer's disease. Now, whether or not that looks like I didn't take my medications for my high blood pressure, that could be going on, right? Or they actually lose the ability to swallow at the very end stages. I know, it's kind of scary, right? But I do have some good news coming. These are some populations at higher risk. I will point out that almost 2/3 of Americans living with Alzheimer's are women. Oh, lucky us. Menopause, childbirth, and Alzheimer's disease can be a risk factor. Genetics can also play a part. My grandmother passed away from Alzheimer's disease in 2015. I have an aunt currently living with Alzheimer's. Does that mean my risk factor is higher? Yes. And also because I'm a woman, and apparently I can't stop aging. If anybody could figure that part out, I'd be in really good shape. So let me know if you have the secret. What about the warning signs? What's regular aging and what is cause for concern? I can't go through all of these. I actually do education on this whole thing specifically, but what I will say is a couple of different things here. Let's say who here's ever lost your keys or something else? Yeah? And is there anybody in here who's never lost a thing ever in your life? See, you didn't raise your hands. Liars. Okay. The difference here is, can you retrace your steps, right? So I get home from the grocery store, I got my keys in my pinky because I'm going to take every single bag of groceries in one trip. Nobody's ever done that before, right? And I'm holding the groceries and they're heavy and my keys are hanging on by the pinky finger, and I come in, I set them down, and my keys go on the counter. But in my house, my keys always go on the thing by the door. Well, I know this. Last night I did that, and I can retrace my steps and say, yes, there's my keys. Cause for concern is when you look at the keys and you go, who moved the keys? Somebody took them. Why are they there? That might be cause for concern, right? Difficulty completing familiar tasks. My grandmother could make a heck of a pie until she couldn't. She burned it, she left ingredients out, and we didn't know. We didn't know that was a warning sign. But her pies were terrible. We had to act like they weren't. So things like that decreased her poor judgment. And again, these are things that could be affecting daily life. We all do some of this stuff sometimes. We all forget names, or maybe we're not sure if we're retired what day of the week it is. Good for you. But that's when it starts to affect things going on around you that can be cause for concern. Any questions about that? I'm kind of skimming it, so I have some more info on that, I think, if you want it. Why do we want to have some early detection? Doctors don't always want to they might diagnose you, but they don't always send you, or you might be scared to go and find out. Because it's scary. It's still not talked about, still has some stigma around it, and it can be tough in an isolating disease. It's kind of embarrassing to forget things. So what we are saying now is to make sure you go and get an early diagnosis. Part of that big piece of that is so that you can plan. It's a very costly and expensive disease, and you need to be able to plan for what you want. What are your wishes? If I've been diagnosed, I want to tell my husband, do not give me cottage cheese. You know I hate it. Please don't, even though I might say that I like it. You know I'm not going to like it, ever. I tried it recently again.
How do they diagnose you? Do they do CT scans? Like what are the tests that you have to have done to be diagnosed?
It used to be the only diagnosis you could get was from you passed away and they did an autopsy on the brain. There are multiple ways of diagnosis now. So blood tests are now a thing. They'll do a CT scan. The first thing that's going to happen is you go to see your primary care doctor and they give you a mini-cog. Has anybody ever had a mini-cognitive test? Shelley, I know you have. Yeah, so they're doing that now, and that's kind of give a baseline. You can ask for it if they're not offering it. But that starts it. And if they see some concerns there, then we're looking at some other multiple things to diagnose. Maybe one day it'll just be one thing, but right now it's still at multiple. Yeah. Okay. There are some new treatments available. It's really important to get that early diagnosis because these are showing to have an effect in the early stages, not in the late stages. And these treatments do have pretty harsh side effects, and so some people aren't wanting to do them, and they're not readily available. They're like an infusion usually. There's 3, I think, that are FDA approved at the moment. There's still some drug and non-drug options available. And then there's always things that help the symptoms. But there's some really exciting, this has all just happened, the treatments for the early stages, that's all just in the last few years. So it's really great. But here's the good news. And on the back of the postcards for the walk, 10 healthy habits for your brain. And make sure I said that right. What can you do to keep your brain healthy? Did anybody see in the last month some news come out about lifestyle changes for your brain health? Because we had a lot of research come out about that. It was called the Pointer Study, the U.S. Pointer Study. If you want to look that up, that was funded by us. And it talks a lot about brain health and what we could do. So we know we can't stop aging. I can't not be a girl on the inside always, right? And there's things I can't take care of. I can't change my genetics. But there are some things I can do. Challenge your mind. Keep learning. Take classes. Learn an instrument. All of those things will help your brain stay healthy. Stay active. Make sure you're taking care of your heart. Anything for your heart is good for your brain. It's a twofer. So if the doctor's saying we got to take care of our blood pressure, just know you're also helping your brain. You're all being social right now, super great for the brain. Who here is sleeping well at night? Anybody sleeping like champs? Who's the best sleeper in the room? It's not me. Well, over 8 hours of sleep a night. They say in general, yeah. No super sleep. You're a super sleeper? You got any tips for us? Yeah? Good. I'd like to hear it. There's always one super sleeper in the room, usually. It seems like we might have a couple more in here. So we want to make sure we're getting good sleep. That cleans out your brain at night. A lot of the other stuff seems pretty typical, but I would say challenging your mind and staying in school, and they just mean continue to learn, continue to keep your brain healthy that way. We're going to move into some of the resources we have. Our 24/7 helpline is our best resource. It is 365. It's a free service offering confidential information. You could call it for anything. You can leave here today and say, I have more questions about this. I'm concerned for a loved one. I'm concerned about myself. What was that lady talking about again? I want to ask a question. You can call it. It's a helpline, not a hotline, so you don't have to be in crisis. But you could be. Maybe you're a caregiver up at 2 a.m. with your loved one who is showing a behavior that you're having trouble with. You can call them and they'll help you through that. So it's a really great resource, especially for all of our rural communities. We have lots of free education and support, whether it's in person or online. We have trial matches to do with research. I won't talk about that a ton, but if you're interested in helping with trials, that they can be online. You don't have to go anywhere even. I do some of those. And then this is some of our local support and help in the community here. We have, I'll start here, our Twin Falls Caregiver Support Group runs monthly. It's in the evenings on Tuesdays. I have some flyers for that. I have an education series coming up called The Empowered Caregiver. It's at the library. It runs for, this one's, doesn't show it, but it's gonna have a 50-week about brain health. I have flyers for that. And then these are the Idaho Community Care Program, just another organization that has some support groups in the area. So if something that we don't offer, I try to make sure that I'm sharing with you all about the other things that are going on. And so yeah, some great stuff coming up. This is our brand new app for folks who've been recently diagnosed and their caregivers. Just another resource that's just started. It's pretty good, I like it. We have a community resource finder online, lots of online stuff. And then I'm going to bring Shelley up to talk about the walk, which supports all the work that I am doing in the community along with some research worldwide. Okay, take it away, Shelley.
So, how many of you know about our walk? Have you guys been to the walk? No. Yay! Okay, so September 6th this year is our Twin Falls Walk. I don't know if you guys know this, it's kind of small, but right here, the Rotary Club is a national sponsor for our walk. Yes. This means you guys get to have a booth in our walk, which I've talked to Brian about, for free. Kevin, sorry. For free, and you guys actually, some of your dues go to help support this cause. So if you didn't know that, wanted to explain that. But our walk is a great event. It's a day of hope. I've never had somebody been disappointed when they go to the walk. It's a great event. It's not a huge walk. We don't run the rim. We don't walk the rim. And it's not the same day as the rim this year. I've been told that every year. This year I made sure it was not the same day. We just walk around CSI campus. It's about a mile. We also have a shorter route for people that don't want to walk the mile. I still have people that don't even walk, that just want to come and show their support. We hold up flowers. I don't have any pictures of flowers. You can see these flowers. There's 4 different color flowers. We do a ceremony where people hold up the flower. Probably the most emotional part. It's really part. If you have a blue flower, it means you have the disease. If you have a yellow flower, it means you are a caregiver. An orange flower means you support the cause, and a purple flower means you've lost somebody. So there's different times where people hold up the flowers, and then at the end, everybody's holding up their flower. It's pretty moving. And probably the best compliment I get, people with the blue flower come up to me and just say, I finally don't feel alone. And that's just really hard. And the caregivers too. So it's a really great event. All my sponsors that are shown here come and have booths. They give out lots of free stuff, free swag, free drinks, free everything. It's really nice. It's kid-friendly. We have a kid booth. We have a pet booth, pet-friendly. So come out and join us. It's free to have a team. You can have one to as many as you want on the team, and you can come support. This is our shirt this year, so if you individually raise $100, you get this shirt. Just got them. And then this means you're a champion. It means you raise $500. So I'm a champion this year. Thank you. I do a football poll every Super Bowl, and that's my fundraiser for the year. So lots of fun. So there's lots of ways to get involved. Even if you can't come and support us, you could still have a team. Donate money on there. Still shows your support if you can't come to the walk. Any questions about the walk? Okay.
Any questions in general?
Yeah, any questions in general?
I have questions about, you said to eat right and stuff. Are there certain foods or things that people need to avoid? Because I heard recently about like either Diet Coke a day or something that can start affecting your health. Like, is there something how people should avoid things like sugar could be an issue, or anything that you want to share that can help people change some of their diet?
I would say the things that we already know we should do, about sugar and things like that, all matter. They do say, and it's been shown to help if you are, say, utilizing the Mediterranean diet, for instance. It's supposed to be very brain healthy. There are supposed to be some foods that are brain healthy. So yeah, in general, that regular food that we should be eating, our fruits and vegetables and things that are healthy for us anyway, for our hearts and our bodies, are also good for the brain.
That was part of that Pointer study, is they saw if different regions, like people who lived close to the ocean, were having better brain health.
Because
I
of
haven't
fish.
read the whole study,
Eat
though.
more fish or
Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So go read that Pointer study. That will really show the specificity of what's better to eat.
Yeah.
And just going back to being an advocate for your own health. I mean, I'm 54. My doctor never brought up to me about if I should do this. I had to bring it up to them and say, I want a cognitive test. And they were like, you seem okay. Looked at me kind of weird. But it's just going. It's like getting your blood checked every year. And again, I just went for my yearly checkup. They didn't bring it up. I'm like, well, what about my cognitive test? So if they see that baseline every year, I didn't pass it, and I kind of know what's on it. I still didn't get 100%. So I was like, what? I didn't get 100%, but that's okay. Most people don't. It's next year, if I go get an 80% or 70%, they're going to be like, okay, Shelley, something's wrong. We need to move to the next step. But you need to be an advocate. I talk to doctors all the time that go, I don't even know what test to give. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So ask questions. They're easy. They don't cost a lot of money, but you have to be an advocate for your health, your brain health. So, yeah.
So if we want to walk, can we just show up as an individual and walk, or do we need to have a team and a sponsor?
Yes, you can show up. It's easier to register. This year they're making everyone get banned. So if you register online before, you don't have to wait in line to register, so it's easier. But you can do it yourself. You can join a team. You can just have your own team, or just sign up with no team. So, did you guys sign up a team? Okay, I know you guys are going to have a booth, so I would maybe sign up a Rotary team. Then anyone that wants to join that team can
And
just
there's
go into
no
the
cost
team.
to sign up, by the
Yeah.
way. It asks you, obviously, that is our fundraiser, but you do not have to make a donation or pay a fee to sign up.
And even if you,
Just $100.
Yeah.
that was our first donation. Yes.
Which one did you?
Oh.
Question. I've heard that aluminum can contribute to Alzheimer, drinking out of aluminum cans, cooking out of aluminum cans, things like that. Is that true, or do you have any information?
We, yes, on our website, there is some information that has not been, the Alzheimer's Association has not found that to be a factor.
Okay.
Yeah. But, well, I mean.
Like everything, go
You
check
never
it.
know, that's just our stance. And the research that's been done has not proven that to be the case, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I have Parkinson's.
Mhm.
I noticed a lot of things are pretty similar.
Yeah.
One of the things I've had, one of the treatments I've had is DBS, deep brain stimulus.
Mm-hmm.
And they put some chip in my head, and it has to do with electrical currents, and way too much for me to understand, to be able to explain it to everybody, but I actually control it on my phone.
Oh, wow.
Several people around town have money, you would be surprised I was, that there are a number of people who have come out of the woodwork to help me out and to talk to me about it. Just wondering, is that a therapy for Alzheimer's? Have you ever heard that? Or?
I haven't, doesn't mean it's not, it likely probably is, I don't know, yeah.
Because I saw Louis.
Lewy body.
I know that's, well, when I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, my doctor said you have 86%, I'm 86% sure you have Parkinson's. I said, God, that's kind of specific. 86%, so it's like 14% that I don't. He said, no, 14%, 14% would be some of, he said, Parkinson's cousins.
Yeah.
And that was one of Parkinson's.
Oh, it was the Lewy bodies, yeah, that makes sense.
He says you don't want those. The one that I ultimately have is more treatable and just kind of try to extend your life as long as you can with some of these treatments. But,
Yeah.
The Lewy body dementia goes along with Parkinson's.
yeah.
Any other questions? I know we're at the end of our time. I don't want to take any more of that, so thank you all very much.
Thanks for having us.
We'll stay